Liverpool have shocked quite a few fans with the signing of Federico Chiesa, a Euro winner for Italy, a great signing for only 12.5 million. And quite a few of them are saying that, this is like the bargain of the season. Uh, we will have to see how that plays out because obviously he's had injury concerns and he might be over that. But this isn't the first time that Liverpool have actually pulled out a great deal. Uh, and especially during this FSG era, we've done some really good deals. So today, we're trying something a little different. We're going to do, five very, legendary signings for Liverpool that were on the cheap. Starting off at number five, I'm not sure a lot of newer fans know him, but it's Steve Finnan. Again, I'm not sure if you know him, Rohit, also. So Finnan was our right back during Rafa's time, but I think he was signed
Yeah.
before Rafa was there also. Irishman, £3.5 million from Fulham. Now, £3.5 million in I think 2003 was a big number or a decent number. It's it's peanuts right now. But there is something very interesting with Finnan that he's the only player to have featured in the World Cup, the Champions League, the UEFA Cup, the Intertoto Cup, all four levels of the English League football and the Football Conference. No one else has
Oh,
done that.
wow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And, I remember seeing Finnan, and he was not a flashy right back, but he was good in attack, very consistent, 7 on 10s all the time. Didn't, I barely heard a peep out of him in the media, always doing good stuff. And the worst or the craziest part is that, after he retired from football, he just vanished into thin air. Like nobody knew
Hmm.
where he was. In fact, one of the Liverpool papers actually started a Twitter trend. Where is Steve Finnan? Or find
Hmm.
Steve Finnan. And it did actually find him. So he started, I think he's working in property development. He's got two, three companies set up.
Huh.
But
Interesting.
Finnan was like,
He's just a regular guy who ended up
he's a
playing
regular
football,
guy. Yeah,
man.
nobody
He's
knows
wanted
where
to
he
be a
went.
property developer.
Like nowadays, right? As soon as a decent or a semi-decent footballer retires, he's starting his own podcast or he's on TNT or one of those Fox channels. But this was before that time, and it's crazy how somebody who's so popular, is playing for Liverpool. He won the Champions League with us, and he just vanished. Like you don't know where he is. So Steve Finnan comes in at number five. Do you have any memories or thoughts about Finnan?
Yeah, yeah, I remember he was part of the Champions League winning team, right? I remember that. Yeah, yeah. And I think that was one of the hallmarks of that team. You had a lot of solid, dependable guys, right? Not flashy
No,
names, but people, but yeah,
I
people
have
who
no.
would deliver.
Bro, we got Jimmy Traore. We got, I don't know, Budawan, Zendin. We have Zendin. I think Zendin came after that. Yeah. We had Vladimir Sweetser. I'm not quite sure you can call them dependable, but that's a topic for another day. Moving on swiftly to number four. Now, obviously, just want to point out that this is my list. This is not a definitive list. It's not a list I've taken from somewhere else. So obviously, there could be players who did really well for us before I started watching Liverpool. So please keep that in mind. Coming in at number four is Joel Matip, another really dependable, proper dependable guy who came on a free from Schalke.
Yes.
I was
Mhm.
expecting Jurgen Klopp to make quite a few signings from Germany, but Matip stands out because he came from Schalke. He was really good for us, dependable, consistent. He had all those crazy maze runs, taking the ball forward. And his reactions to certain things in the game saw a very popular Twitter account being made. No context, Joel Matip. He's screaming, shouting, running around, throwing his hands in the air. And he seemed to be a very fun, genuine guy. And we let him go at the end of last season. Yeah, we let him go at the end of last season. And he still hasn't got a club yet, which is a little surprising. But yeah, Matip's there right at the top because I think like one of the best signings we've made ever. So yeah, I think Matip's good. Any thoughts
Champions
on
League
Matip?
winner again, right?
Yeah, he won the lot with us. So uh,
Yep, yep,
I,
yep.
I have no issues with the Matip. I think he was a great signing. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. I think him and Van Dijk were a great partnership and, brought you guys a lot of laurels and a lot of trophies. No question about it. For $0, £0, definitely a great bargain buy.
So the third one, and before we go to the third one, I just want to ask people if you like our content because we do a lot of different kind of content. Please do like, subscribe, and share our content. It helps with the YouTube algorithm, as you all know. And do comment if you want to see similar lists or topicals. We love to try stuff out, so please just continue sharing us. Okay, now moving on to number three, we've got another free agent, I believe. It's James Milner, who came from Manchester City. Now, this was a really interesting one because Milner wanted to play in the midfield, but City kept on playing him wide right and sometimes at left back. And he came up to us and we gave him a position as the midfielder. But then he started again playing left back. I believe he played one entire season as the left back when Jurgen Klopp came in because I don't think Alberto
Uh-huh.
Moreno was ready for the role, or he wasn't good enough, and Robertson also wasn't ready. But again, Mr. Dependable, uh, great figure to have in the dressing room. And again, another player that never said anything wrong in the media was always there. Uh, he left us again to join Brighton, and he's still there. Like he's starting for them, and he's breaking records for fun. So I think he's a Premier League legend. Forget about it being a Liverpool legend also.
For sure. I think there are also legendary stories about his fitness, right?
Yeah,
He always seems to beat all of his much younger teammates in the fitness benchmarking test at the beginning of every season. So yeah, really, really amazing character. Swiss Army knife player in
of
many
course.
ways, can
Yeah.
play so many positions. I think he's definitely a Premier League legend.
Yeah. So moving on to number two. This might be a little controversial because the price point is 10 million euros. Sorry, 10 million pounds. We got him from Lille. He's Divock Origi. I
Hmm.
think he just comes up there because of the sheer clutch goals he scored for us. I think we can
Yes.
have an episode just on Origi being so great. And the other thing is his renaissance. Basically, he was injured during the first season under Klopp, a really nasty tackle against Everton, and he was sent out on loan to Wolfsburg, and people thought that's it, his career's over. But he came back, and he scored so many clutch goals for us. Champions League final against Wolves. Who can forget the one against
Hmm.
Everton? I think he scored a clutch goal against Newcastle. So Origi might not have been the most prolific scorer we've had, but he will be remembered for all of these clutch moments that gave us so much joy and happiness, especially during Jurgen Klopp's tenure. So I'm sure you have something to say about Origi because I think
Oh
everybody.
yeah. Totally agree. Yeah. I mean, he scored so many clutch goals that I can remember off the top of my head, and I'm not a Liverpool fan. And then the other thing with Origi is he had all the tools to be a top striker. I think probably his injuries hindered him a little bit, but I still remember when he was up and coming because he was tall, but he was mobile. He had a good shot on him. He was technically pretty proficient. So and I was following all the Belgian players at that
Yeah.
point of time because of Eden Hazard. So, I had even higher hopes for him. But for Liverpool, I think he definitely was clutch throughout a few seasons that were very important for you guys. So I
Yeah,
totally agree that he's on number two.
yeah, exactly. So Origi was, I think, part of the Belgian golden generation. But
Yeah.
as you rightly said, injuries were the issue that he didn't maybe reach his peak, but he's still a legend for us. And number one, I think this is the best bargain signing we've ever made. It's Andrew Robertson for just 8
Hmm.
million from Hull City. Now, Robertson was like Hull City, I think, got relegated that season. And there were a lot of questions about how Robertson might fit into this Liverpool team. This is a Jurgen Klopp team. And once he joined us, he didn't start immediately. I think he was on the bench for 6 months. Milner was playing the left back, I clearly remember. And there were like concerns that we signed a left back, but we won't use a left back. What's going on? What's going on? But Jurgen Klopp had a plan, and that plan worked really well. Robertson, I think, became the best left back in England for a couple of seasons at least, especially during a title run and also the Champions League run. Uh, he was, I mean, I love that the play style that we had at that time. So, you'd have Trent crossing to
Yeah.
Robertson or Robertson
It
crossing to
was
Trent.
scary.
It was crazy,
Yeah.
especially when we're breaking forward and crosses are
Yeah.
going into the box. Right now, I don't think he's at that level anymore because obviously age has caught up. And he was a very, I would say, a player that depended more on his physical abilities rather than his natural
Yes.
or technical abilities. So Robertson can still do that running up and down the channel, but when you ask him to do something more technical in nature, I think he's a little caught out. But again, forget about all that. He has been exceptional for us, a legend, and getting him just for 8 million, I think, still states to be one of the best deals we've made ever.
Yeah. And he also likes to wind up the opposition. I
Oh
like that. You need
yeah,
those characters, right?
he did
You
the
need those
tupley to
characters in the
Messi.
team. Exactly. You need those characters. You need those characters, who can kind of rally your team and who your team can get behind. So I totally agree with that. I think definitely a bargain buy for you guys, and definitely again another legend, one of the best left backs of the last 5-10 years in the Premier League. No question about it.
Yeah, yeah. So that's our list for the top five. We'd like to hear your comments on this. Maybe you find a player that should be there. Maybe you don't agree with us. I don't know anything. You let us know. And take care. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.